Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. On top of Tilted Peak Sector, the giant rocks flew several times faster than light, and three beings gathered, all of them glowing. Imperial didn't leave any message when he died, said a great being of Divine Eye clan. I can't even imagine the danger he ran into. Even if it's in the inner area, few places could render Imperial Master unable to leave a message. It's normal only at the center of Tilted Peak Sector. Yes, it's indeed very dangerous this time. We shall follow the order from the first true master, and once we find somewhere dangerous or strange, we'll report it immediately. I'm just afraid that our efforts will be in vain. Chances are Imperial didn't even die in the area specified. That's right. That's the area that was specified days before Imperial died. He might have died in the area around it, and chances are he died in the inner area. Doesn't matter. Just follow the order. I'll be responsible for this area, and Yong, that one, time banishing, that one. Okay. They dispersed. The area was too large, and there were countless creatures such as water flow spirits. None of the powers dared to claim that they had inspected the entire water area, and the water area would change as time went by. After 6 days. I've finished. Me too. No one. 3 universe masters met. They looked at each other, but no one had found anything. What should they do? One reference area is too large. We use domain type True Treasure for inspection, and each time, we can inspect several light years, said an Yong Master. Though it's fast, we can't find the real lands of valuables. Of course we know. Then what should we do? Go in there one by one. However, it'll take forever to walk 1 light year. An area 1 light year long, 1 light year wide, and 1 light year tall. How long will it take? The inspection wasn't flying. Imperial inspected those caves carefully, and got out if he didn't find any valuables. He walked slowly across the caves, cracks, and woods. It would take more than 10,000 eras to finish 1 light year. And it would take far more than 100 million eras to finish the entire era. We can't do a detailed inspection. We can only do a brief one. Let's report it back. Okay. They reported. Keep inspecting, ordered first true master. It's been a long time since Imperial died in that reference area. And he might have left the area before he died. Keep searching. Inspect all the areas around reference area 193293. Yes, replied an Yong Master obediently. They wouldn't resist, not even for a brief inspection. It took another few years for them to inspect the 100 nearby areas. They acquired senior true treasure weapons by luck and found 2 strange places. However, when the 6th true master arrived, he didn't find anything. What a waste of time. Who knows where Imperial died? Perhaps in the inner area. It was in vain. The Divine Eye clan did thorough research as well. They first inspected the water area, then researched whether the true treasure Imperial Master had appeared in the hands of the great beings of other races. The 6th true master went there directly. However, they could only admit failure in the end. They didn't gain anything. Usually, the Divine Eye race wouldn't just give up if its great beings were killed. However, they couldn't find anything this time, so they could only deal with it. An Yong Master, Time Banishing Master, and Replenishment Master separated from one another. Time Banishing Master and Replenishment Master left, while an Yong Master kept going deeper in the water area. I met Imperial before he died, and he seemed to have gotten something in the water area, said an Yong Master. It's likely that he died in the water area. I'll keep inspecting in reference system 193293. 12 years had passed since Imperial Master died. Luo Feng flew in the space, and he looked at the waterfall on the towering Tilted Peak Sector. Tilted Peak Sector is said to be one of the 3 lands of extremis. It's been 30 years since I came here, and I haven't run into any danger. The giant waterfall was tens of millions of light-years high, and each drop of water could rival a star. How powerful the entire waterfall was. If all the water was concentrated to one point, even universe supreme masters could be killed. While separated, the water at the bottom kept changing under the churning and crashing. I'll go to the main mountain of Tilted Peak sector. I'll just stay on top. It's not going to be dangerous if I don't go in. Luo Feng kept teleporting himself. He kept approaching that mountain. And it was the first time he arrived at the main body of Tilted Peak sector. After 30 million light-years of teleportation, Luo Feng was pretty close to the main mountain. Luo Feng stopped in the sky. In front of him was the main mountain of Tilted Peak sector. However, Luo Feng frowned and looked down. How? My Shawu wings. He looked back at his Shawu wings, which were intermittently trembling. Summoning. It was like magnets attracting each other. His Shawu wings seemed to be attracted towards something. It's a weak call. Which direction is it? The deep of water area. Luo Feng looked down and frowned. He wasn't inexperienced. Tianyang Knight's light wings had previously attracted his wing, but that attraction had been incredibly strong. This attraction, however, was feeble. Is the third wing down there? Luo Feng wondered. I'll go check. Luo Feng teleported himself 10 light-years. Much stronger. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, and his Shawu wings started to tremble heavily. Apparently, the summon was strong. Down. Luo Feng teleported himself again. He entered the shallow water. His Shawu wings started to shake intensely. Such strong summoning. Luo Feng was exhilarated. He performed Golden Country. The dim light permeated and formed a blurry golden light area with a diameter of 10 light-years. Of course, this wasn't the limit of Golden Country, but Luo Feng didn't dare teleport himself too far in the dangerous water area. Luo Feng moved 3 light-years forward and entered the danger zone. He could only teleport himself a little bit farther in the deep water zone. Following the summoning, he went forward. However, he moved 100 million kilometers forward each time. It has to be a component of the Shawu wings, said Luo Feng. Ha ha ha. I knew it. I know there were other components. I didn't expect to find them in the outer area of Tilted Peak sector. Luo Feng was exhilarated. When he found the true treasure wing of Tianyang Knight, they found that the third level of engravings wasn't complete. Apparently, there were other components. He'd thought that they may have been taken by other great beings in Universe Ocean. After all, many great beings had wing valuables, and chances were, the great beings who acquired a true treasure wing might give it to a Universe Knight, as they thought it wasn't powerful enough. Another possibility was that it had been left in Tilted Peak sector. I can't believe I sense it so easily, thought Luo Feng. Is it on a great being, or just resting in place somewhere? Luo Feng flew quickly, and he landed in front of a cave. It's inside. It's coming from the inside. Luo Feng looked at the cave and started to move inside carefully. The cave was enormous. Shawu Wing trembled intensely, and Luo Feng even needed to suppress it with his godly power. The summoning power is too strong, much stronger than last time, Luo Feng whispered. Is it because my Shawu wings are complete? Luo Feng felt confused. After more than 3 hours, Luo Feng saw the screen of light in the distance. A light screen. Luo Feng got close carefully and looked at the light screen in the distance. Although the Shawu wings on his back were trying to fly off of him, Luo Feng was still calm and cautious. Something's wrong. Very wrong. Luo Feng frowned. If Shawu wings have another component, and that component doesn't have an owner, it should fly toward me. On the other hand, if the component has an owner, he should also be able to feel the attraction. Isn't he curious? Luo Feng looked to the light screen. Based on what I know about Tilted Peak sector, only special valuables will lead to light screens like this one. As for ordinary to top-tier true treasures, they would be randomly placed in a corner. A light screen and a summoning from Shawu wings, said Luo Feng. That component isn't flying toward me. Although Luo Feng desperately wanted to get this component, he didn't dare to venture forward. He knew how dangerous Tilted Peak Sector was. This is so strange. I'll let my Mosha body get in first. Luo Feng decided quickly. In the past years, every time he ran into something weird, he let his Mosha body go first. Mosha body appeared and flew forward. He touched the light screen and entered. The Mosha godly body was small. The purity of its godly power was low, and it did not own any true treasure. Even if a Mosha body had been sacrificed, the godly bodies of Golden Horned Beast and the original Earthling body could easily recover this minuscule loss by breathing for a short moment. That was the reason why, for the past 30 years, Mosha body was stationed at the external domain of Tilted Peak Sector to deal with areas that involved uncertainties. Going through the bright screen. Huh. Mosha body looked ahead, feeling confused. It was still a tunnel ahead of him, and there was a new bright screen. 2 layers of the bright screens. The 3 most dangerous lands are the scariest places of Universe Ocean. Unique situations will only arise under certain extremely unique regions. Mosha body was confused. Now, there are 2 bright screens in a row. What could possibly be in there? Moving forth with agility, he easily passed through that bright screen. The screens on their own would not be able to obstruct the way of intruders, but they could cause all sorts of exploration, even those by godly powers, to fail. My God! A 3rd layer of the bright screen. Mosha body was in great shock. He continued drilling. The 4th layer. The 5th layer. The 6th layer. Mosha body was in total shock by then. From the information regarding Tilted Peak Sector, flowing countless mountains, and universe boat that the human race had provided, there were descriptions of scenarios of scary true treasures being born. And also, records of scenarios involving the birth of supreme true treasures. But of course, every scenario was different. There was a total of 12 records on bright screens, of which 3 were related to true treasures, and 9 were related to rare treasures. The former 3 scenarios about true treasures involved a pinnacle true treasure with 1 layer of the bright screen, a superb pinnacle true treasure with 3 layers of the bright screens, and a superb pinnacle true treasure with 3 layers of the bright screens, respectively. The 7th layer, the 8th layer. There is actually a 9th layer. A great hidden treasure. This is definitely a super, great hidden treasure. If a great being told me that there was a supreme true treasure within it, I would believe without a doubt. Mosha body was worked up as he looked at the 9th layer of the bright screen before him. Judging by the way the Shawu wings put up such a crazy struggle in their efforts to fly into this cave, it is possible that there is another component of Shawu wings inside. Even if it was a component of a supreme true treasure, it would not possibly be so overwhelmingly powerful. It would not be able to wield 9 layers of the bright screens. Mosha body did not know what to make out of the situation. Luo Feng was filled with confusion. Firstly, that missing component did not fly out on its own. Secondly, the beckoning was intense. It far surpassed the time when he first encountered flowing light wings. Thirdly, 9 layers of the bright screens was unbelievable. Could it be that in there is not only a component of Shawu wings, but also another true treasure? For instance, a supreme true treasure. Mosha body tried to suppress the many thoughts running through his mind. When it came to hidden treasures, if one held on to overly beautified expectations, the greater the disappointment would be. Reality could, at times, be very cruel. Whatever. I shall find out for myself. Hua. He drilled past the 9th layer of the bright screen easily. This is. The moment Mosha body passed the 9th bright screen, he realized that the surroundings had become an incomparably gigantic dazzling space. Mosha body still had a fleeting moment to make some quick, careful observations before numerous gigantic dazzling rays swept past him like blades. Then he felt excruciating pain coursing through his entire being. Mosha body was annihilated in an instant. Luo Feng was in the cave, outside of the first bright screen. What the hell is this? Luo Feng blinked his eyes in disbelief, completely taken aback. This. My Mosha body is, at the very least, a universe knight, yet this was enough to annihilate a universe knight within an instant. He was not allowed any time to think at all. What an extremely frightening attack. It was comparable to the attack by a universe master. Luo Feng pondered a bit. I shall try again. The next moment, another Mosha body appeared beside him. Like a flash of light, it once again made its way past the bright screen before them. Before the ninth bright screen, Mosha body gritted his teeth. The moment I enter, I shall execute my talent technique domain. That will be able to keep me alive for a short period of time. I shall see for myself just what treasures there are in this land of hidden treasures, to be able to enshroud the surroundings with such a fearsome power. In a split second, he had drilled his way past the ninth bright screen, and the moment he entered, he executed his talent technique domain. Within that immeasurably vast space, Mosha body had completely conformed to an area of 10,000 kilometers. Countless mighty rays swept across everything like sharp blades. In this vast space, universe space itself had become an endless stream of particles. Not long after Mosha body had transformed into domain, he felt the impact of the earth-shattering power that attacked him, annihilating him in an instant. Luo Feng stood frozen before the first bright screen deep within the cave, too stunned for any reaction. The next instant, his eyes lit up. Heaven-destroying and earth-shattering. This destroys everything within the universe space. Time and space constitute the universe. My Mosha body executed its talent technique, domain, but was still unable to survive. This is utterly. Luo Feng was greatly fearful as the realization dawned upon him, but at the same time, deep within his heart, he felt a surge of immeasurable ecstasy. Hidden treasures were absolutely the utmost, greatest, top-tier hidden treasures, and it was highly possible that a supreme true treasure was hidden within them. The so-called force-breaking method. All laws in the face of such an absolute power would have to retreat. It was just like how universe supreme beings could ensure that their orders, once given, would be strictly enforced. Even the origin of the primal universe would temporarily retreat from the battle without a fight. Similarly, the power unleashed by a supreme true treasure could form an absolute domain for a certain area, and all laws pull back, and no longer exert any influence within this domain. Within this domain, even universe masters might be annihilated. The mysterious land beyond the ninth bright screen is already so powerful that it can destroy time and space. Force-breaking method. I suppose it would be something on the level of universe supreme masters and supreme true treasures. Luo Feng revealed a trace of glee. There was not a hint of fear, only excitement and happiness. The stronger, the better. Its strength represented the fact that this treasure was undoubtedly fearsome. Luo Feng was not at all worried that he would not be able to get that treasure. I have Blood Cloud Palace and Star Tower with me, Luo Feng said to himself. Blood Cloud Palace is a flying palace type true treasure. It was extremely powerful, and was best in defense against material attacks. Even if universe supreme beings dealt a full blow with all their might, they would not be able to destroy Blood Cloud Palace. Even the power dispersed by a supreme true treasure would not be able to easily annihilate a top-tier flying palace true treasure. This was common knowledge. With a top-tier flying type true treasure, one could run rampant within the universe ocean. But Luo Feng was unaware that, before him, Imperial Master of Divine Eye Clan had tried to intrude the same region, as he did now, while hiding within a top-tier palace-type true treasure. Imperial Master had tried to intrude by flying in while hiding in his palace-type true treasure, and he had come to a tragic end. Blood Cloud Palace and Star Tower, especially Star Tower, are supreme true treasures, Luo Feng said to himself. Based on what teacher said, there is not a place in the three most dangerous lands that would be able to cause damage to my supreme true treasures. But, before I enter, it is always better to first understand the situation inside well. I don't believe that the blade rays that tore my Mosha body apart could be so pervasive a presence, Luo Feng thought. Previously, Mosha body had been annihilated twice, without a glimpse of the actual situation inside. It only knew that the dazzling blade rays sent him to his doom. Mosha body intruded once again. As expected, it was met with the sweeping strokes of those mighty, endlessly dazzling blade rays to be annihilated within a split second right away. The third time, followed by the fourth, then the fifth. I shall try 100 times if that's what it takes. I don't believe that I will end up being annihilated every single time. Luo Feng was not someone who took risks easily. Star Tower might be powerful enough to keep him safe, but that only represented the fact that Star Tower was able to ward off material attacks. In the information provided by humans, there were more than a handful of records of such dangerous lands where even Star Tower would not be able to escape if it fell in. Getting Mosha Body to die repeatedly was a way to gather more information. It was out of safety considerations. As for Mosha Body, even if it had to be annihilated 100 times, the godly power that it consumed would only require a short moment for the original Earthling body and Golden Horned Beast body to bring it to recovery. It was being annihilated insanely and repeatedly. Every single time, he would come to face with a high-frequency, mighty, and endless storm of blade rays and be annihilated in an instant. The 39th time, Mosha Body intruded all over again. Ha! Mosha Body was elated to see that the gigantic and endlessly dazzling blade rays had gathered into a storm. This boundless storm surrounded him all around, but it did not touch him at all, albeit momentarily. Mosha Body immediately scanned his surroundings, speedily observing everything inside. Not even a millionth of a second. But with the speed of Luo Feng's consciousness, he could get a clear view of the scene. This was an incomparably vast space. Amidst the pitch-black space, there was a chaotic flow of countless rolling particles, and that endlessly dazzling blade storm swept everything in the surroundings. The area was so wide that one sweeping look around would be measured in light years. Within this vast space, the most dazzling sight was something far away. It was gigantic. It left Luo Feng completely at a loss for words. Wings. Endlessly tall and trillions of times more dazzling than the sun. The two outspread wings were infinitely huge. The dazzling rays of those white wings gave out a power that was so strong that even from high up, Luo Feng could feel the terrifying power bringing his consciousness to a standstill within a split second. Shortly after, Mosha Body was swept up and strangled to death by the blade storm. Deep within the dark, winding cave, outside the first layer of the bright screen, Luo Feng stood rooted to the same spot. His mind was filled with that soul-shaking scene. It was an endless pair of wings trillions of times more dazzling than the sun. He felt like it was a pair of incomparably huge light wings. The sense of superiority they exuded gave Luo Feng the feeling of being subjugated. Wings? A pair of wings. This mysterious land is actually a pair of wings. Luo Feng was dumbfounded. Could it be that this terrifying pair of wings makes up a component of my Shawu wings? Is that possible? Is this possible? You've got to be kidding me. Luo Feng had seen many kinds of true treasures. Even supreme true treasures were not novel sights to him. He himself owned a supreme true treasure, Star Tower. Star Tower was extremely powerful. Its swallowing capacity alone could form the 9 Whirlpool Nebulas, which was considered very powerful. As for the true power of Star Tower, even Luo Feng was unclear. After all, Star Tower had always stayed in silence in the outer domain of space. He only knew that the 4 pinnacle races once fought and killed one another over it. Many universe supreme masters had come forth to vie for it, but none had succeeded. Those dazzling, huge light wings must be a supreme true treasure. It must be. With such strong powers, if it is not a supreme true treasure, then something must be wrong. And judging from that extremely crazy blade storm, this must belong to an attack-type supreme true treasure. Luo Feng was overflowing with excitement, which was understandable. Any super great being within the universe would be equally excited if he could lay hands on such a supreme true treasure. Shortly after, endless confused thoughts started surging into Luo Feng's mind. He could not help frowning. Very strange. Through the endless storm, he thought he had vaguely seen, or even concluded that the wings likely did not have a master. Yet they did not fly over to him out of their own accord. The Shawu wings he was wearing wanted to fly over instead. Is it really a component? Luo Feng muttered under his breath. 2 of my wings put together would, at most, be at the top-tier true treasure level. That one pair of wings is already so strong on its own. Besides, how could a mere component of a supreme true treasure be so powerful? The force emanating from the endless wings of light was powerful enough to give him pause. At the Universe Master level, this was incredible. Is it because of the connection between the 2 wings and that pair of light wings? Wondered Luo Feng. Just like Tower Pearl, Seal Star, and Star Tower. Are the wings on my back only small components of that light wing? Just when Luo Feng was thinking, suddenly, the cave was filled with white sand, and the sand flew and filled everywhere. It could even pierce that hard rock. At the same time, the sand swept across the light screen, as if space and time were twisted. He couldn't figure out the mysteries behind that. Domain-type true treasure, Ice Sand Ocean. Luo Feng was shocked. Ice Sand Ocean was a domain-type true treasure used by an Yong Master, and he had experienced its power when he tried to rescue Firestone Master. Ha ha ha. Human Milky Way Horde Leader, Luo Feng. A voice pierced through the sand ocean and entered Luo Feng's ears. The space ripples around him were clotted, and the space was sealed. Why is he here? Luo Feng swore in his heart. Without a doubt, that pair of light wings were a supreme true treasure, extremely precious and powerful, and it had something to do with his Shawu wings. Mosha Body only got a glimpse of it, and it could tell that it was extremely good at making attacks. If he had both Star Tower and the wing, 2 supreme true treasures. That would be incredible. Supreme true treasures, how precious and rare they are. Luo Feng whispered. It won't be an easy task to get them. Star Tower made lots of Universe Supreme Masters desperate. Even sitting Mountain Guest left it to him. It took him lots of energy to get that. These wings were no different. However, an Yong Master had suddenly shown up. I can't let him find out the secrets in the cave. The Divine Eye clan is almighty, much more powerful than us humans. If he notifies others in Divine Eye clan, I won't be able to get the light wings. Thoughts flooded Luo Feng's mind, and then he made up his mind to fly out. An Yong Master stood at the apex of a mountain, and looked at the cave in the distance. He appeared excited. For all these years, he had been searching in the reference area number 193293. He had been searching carefully, but he found it a slow process to search every cave, valley, and plant, so from time to time, he would sweep an area of 100 square light-years using his domain-type true treasure. He combined detailed inspection with brief, large-scale survey. Sometimes, he would find something surprising, and this time, he had found the human Luo Feng. Actually, he had run across 2 universe masters of other races, and Luo Feng was the third. I found the human Luo Feng. Ha ha ha. How lucky I am. He's weak, so he doesn't dare enter the inner area, so he can only adventure the outer area. Unfortunately for him, he enters my domain, the number 193,293 reference area, so I'm not to blame for what happens to him. An Yong Master felt superior to Luo Feng, as he thought Luo Feng was only a new universe master at the 2nd level. Luo Feng was just good at running. His domain is impressive. I won't be able to kill him by myself. The soul eye behind an Yong Master looked fierce. The Divine Eye clan had 7 miniature universes in total. Inside the miniature universe of the 7th True Master, an Yong Master stood in front of a mirror. I found the human Luo Feng from the original universe, and I am at 329,491, 100939, point of reference number 193293. Luo Feng was proficient in controlling domain. Anyone with a pinnacle domain type true treasure, please come to help. The true treasures will be divided equally. Who can come here first? Heads appeared in the mirror. Ha ha. How lucky you are, An Yong. It's the new universe Supreme Master from the original universe, Luo Feng. Everyone knows that he has a special true treasure to control space and time, and he's a handful. One has to have a pinnacle domain type true treasure. An Yong, It'll take me 40 minutes to get there. And Yong, I'm in Tilted Peak sector also, but it might take me several days to get out of the inner area. I'm in Universe boat. It'll take me 2 hours to get there. More heads showed up on the mirror. The fastest one would be there in 40 minutes. Golden Surveyor Master, please come here as soon as possible. I'll be there as soon as possible. Please stall that Luo Feng. Okay. Golden Surveyor and Yong, I wish you all the best. Don't be beaten by the great beings of the human race. The human race will definitely protect that human Luo Feng. If you don't act fast enough, the great beings from the original universe will arrive, especially that primal chaos city leader. Here's a handful. In the inner area of Tilted Peak sector, lots of sand and rocks were flying 100 times faster than light speed, and there were some transparent grains of sand and rocks that cracked space. A golden spaceship flew by, but it trembled as it was hit by the sand and rocks. Inside the spaceship, a human-shaped creature in golden armor stood there. He was glowing with a halo behind his head, and there was a single-eyed phantom in the halo. Human Luo Feng, the great being of Divine Eye Clan whispered. A true treasure that can control space and time. By the time the avatars of Golden Surveyor reached a pact, Luo Feng and an Yong Master had met in reference area 193293. Luo Feng flew out of the cave and stood at the center of the water area. An Yong Master was standing there, looking down at him. Golden flames swept across everything, and the sand all dissipated. With the help of Golden Country, Flame Sand Cup covered an area of several square light years, and Luo Feng stood in the middle of the flames, looking at an Yong Master in the distance. I just keep running into you, an Yong Master. Luo Feng growled. Ha ha ha, an Yong Master laughed. I didn't look for you on purpose. I've been inspecting this place for a long time, and you're the one who came here for treasures. You chose your own death. Who else can you blame? Death? Luo Feng smirked. Lives are limited, and eternity is almost impossible. An Yong Master stared at Luo Feng. Killing is the only way. An Yong Master didn't rush to attack Luo Feng. Although he was confident enough to defeat Luo Feng in one-on-one combat, he knew for sure that it was impossible for him to kill Luo Feng. Luo Feng stayed alert. Why has he been inspecting this area for a long time? Wondered Luo Feng. Did he get some information? The Light Wing was almighty. Luo Feng feared that something might go wrong, so he needed to eliminate all unexpected factors. Okay. It seems that he didn't know about it yet. Instead, he's busy searching everywhere, all the caves, rocks, valleys, and mountains. It might take him 10,000 eras to get to my cave. Luo Feng nodded. An Yong Master didn't suspect anything when he emerged from the cave. It was normal for an Yong Master not to be suspicious. There were countless caves in the water area, and many who looked for valuables entered the caves. When an Yong Master found Luo Feng, he thought Luo Feng was only looking for valuables, so he didn't realize how special the cave was. Killing is the only way. Luo Feng grinned. You don't know who'll die. Luo Feng held absolute guest and dashed at an Yong Master like a beam of light. You dare to fight me? An Yong Master found it surprising that Luo Feng didn't run away. Little one, I might kill more great beings than you have ever seen. You dare to fight me? Die. The scepter started to glow. A trace of light showed up in the space. Fast. Dang. The blade of light hit the scepter, and Luo Feng bounced away. So fast, and I can barely resist it. No wonder even Firestone Master could resist that. Indeed powerful. An Yong Master glanced at Luo Feng and gave an compliment. Your blade is fine, but your godly power seems to be weak, and your blade technique is only an ultimate technique. Just as he was giving the compliment, he rushed at Luo Feng. Luo Feng felt his body trembling. So strong. He had Shawu wings and Flame Sand Cup to help him, but he was still at an absolute disadvantage. I might need to perform, I am the universe, to rival him, Luo Feng thought. Ha ha. An Yong Master walked slowly, but he had passed by the flames and arrived beside Luo Feng wielding the giant scepter. It hit Luo Feng. It was heavy. Fast and heavy. A bright light erupted. Damn it! An Yong master roared. He tried to redirect his scepter, but it all happened too suddenly. A shuttle pierced through an Yong master's hand. A deep growling, die. A red being showed up in the distance, and its tail was sweeping with a giant shuttle in his hands. It was Blood Cloud Palace. Star Tower became a long shuttle, and at the second level, it hit an Yong master. An Yong master howled, and his godly body was significantly weakened. Quickly, Luo Feng performed the supreme technique. I am the universe. This video will end here.